Hi, I'm Daniel. Today we're exploring how neuroscientists discovered the Bible may have understood the human brain long before modern science did.
Researchers are now studying how ancient wisdom about thoughts, emotions, and healthy aging aligns with modern brain science. The Bible repeatedly talks about renewing the mind, controlling thoughts, and finding peace. Concepts neuroscience now connects to brain function.
One verse written thousands of years ago may describe something scientists today call neuroplasticity pattern, the brain's ability to change and adapt.
Modern studies suggest our thoughts can physically influence stress levels, emotional balance, and even long-term brain health.
Even ancient biblical teachings about gratitude and peace are now linked to emotional wellness and heart health.
Some neuroscientists believe ancient spiritual practices may help calm the brain in ways modern medicine is only beginning to understand.
The connection between faith, stress reduction, and mental clarity has become one of the most fascinating areas of brain research today. Could ancient biblical wisdom about the mind actually contain practical lessons for modern mental and emotional health? In this documentary, we'll uncover surprising connections between neuroscience, ancient wisdom, and the incredible design of the human brain. Long before brain scans existed, biblical writers described the mind as something that could be trained, guarded, and transformed over time.
Today, neuroscientists understand that repeated thoughts can strengthen neural pathways inside the brain.
The Bible often emphasizes meditation, reflection, and focused thinking habits now associated with reduced stress and emotional balance. One of the most repeated biblical themes is peace, and scientists now know chronic stress can deeply affect the brain and body. Researchers studying longevity have also found strong links between emotional health, social connection, and healthy aging. Ancient biblical communities practiced rhythms of rest, gratitude, and reflection that modern wellness experts still recommend today. Neuroscientists now understand that fear and anxiety can reshape how the brain processes daily experiences.
Biblical teachings frequently encouraged courage, hope, and trust, emotions that may positively influence mental resilience. Even the biblical focus on community may reflect something scientists now connect to emotional wellness and brain health. As we continue, you'll discover how ancient wisdom and modern neuroscience may be far more connected than most people ever imagined. To understand these discoveries, we first need to explore how the brain actually forms thoughts, habits, and emotional patterns. Neuroscientists say repeated behaviors can physically strengthen certain pathways inside the brain over time. That idea may sound surprisingly familiar to ancient biblical teachings about renewing the mind through daily practice. Modern brain imaging now reveals how emotions like gratitude and peace may influence mental and physical wellness. Some researchers believe chronic stress may damage memory, concentration, and long-term brain health. Interestingly, many biblical teachings encouraged slowing down, resting, and protecting emotional peace. Scientists studying mindfulness and meditation have discovered measurable effects on emotional regulation and focus. Ancient biblical reflection practices may have offered similar emotional benefits thousands of years before modern research. Even healthy social connection, if strongly emphasized throughout Scripture, now appears deeply connected to brain wellness. And this is only the beginning of what researchers are uncovering about the connection between ancient wisdom and the human brain. One of the Bible's most fascinating ideas is that what we focus on repeatedly can shape who we become over time. Modern neuroscience calls this process reinforcement, when repeated thoughts strengthen specific brain connections.
Ancient scripture often encouraged people to dwell on wisdom, gratitude, and peaceful thoughts instead of fear. Researchers now study how chronic fear may affect memory, concentration, and emotional balance inside the brain. The Bible repeatedly emphasized peace and trust during uncertainty, themes now connected to emotional resilience. Scientists have also discovered that sleep, rest, and emotional recovery are essential for healthy brain function.
Ancient biblical traditions often included regular periods of quiet reflection, restoration, and stepping away from constant labor.
Brain researchers now understand that constant overstimulation can increase stress and mental exhaustion.
That may explain why ancient wisdom consistently encouraged stillness, reflection, and protecting inner peace.
The deeper scientists study the brain, the more some ancient biblical ideas appear surprisingly relevant today. One area that especially fascinates researchers is how belief and expectation may influence the brain's emotional response. Studies now suggest positive expectation can sometimes reduce stress and improve emotional resilience.
Ancient biblical teachings often emphasized hope, trust, and courage during uncertain times.
Neuroscientists now understand that chronic negativity may reinforce unhealthy emotional patterns inside the brain. That may explain why ancient wisdom repeatedly encouraged guarding the mind and choosing healthy thought.
Researchers studying emotional wellness have also found strong connections between gratitude and mental health.
The Bible consistently encouraged thankfulness, even during hardship. Moat, a practice modern science continues to explore.
Some neuroscientists believe gratitude practices may help reduce stress and support emotional resilience over time. Ancient wisdom may not have used scientific language, but many of its principles now appear remarkably consistent with brain research.
And as neuroscience advances, the conversation between faith, emotional wellness, and the brain continues to grow.
Scientists are now exploring how daily habits may influence brain aging, memory, and long-term emotional wellness.
Many ancient biblical practices focused on balance, rest, healthy relationships, and emotional stability.
Researchers studying longevity often point to stress reduction as a key factor in healthy aging.
The Bible frequently emphasized inner peace, patience, and avoiding unnecessary worry.
Modern neuroscience now shows how chronic anxiety may affect concentration, sleep, and emotional balance. That's why some researchers believe emotional habits may be just as important as physical habits for long-term wellness. Ancient wisdom consistently encouraged people to slow down, reflect deeply, and protect their peace of mind. Even healthy social connection appears deeply connected to emotional resilience and brain wellness. Researchers now understand loneliness and chronic isolation can negatively affect both emotional and physical health.
The more science uncovers about the brain, the more these ancient principles continue to feel surprisingly relevant.
Another fascinating discovery involves how the brain responds to forgiveness, compassion, and emotional release. Researchers studying emotional wellness have found that unresolved stress may affect both the brain and the body. The Bible often emphasized forgiveness, patience, and restoring healthy relationships within communities. Some neuroscientists now believe emotional healing may positively influence stress regulation and mental clarity.
Ancient wisdom repeatedly encouraged kindness, humility, and emotional self-control, qualities linked today to healthy relationship. Modern neuroscience also shows how positive social experiences can activate reward and bonding systems inside the brain.
The Bible consistently portrayed strong community and emotional support as essential parts of a healthy life. Scientists now recognize that emotional isolation may increase stress and negatively affect long-term wellness. These discoveries continue to reveal how deeply connected emotional health may be to the brain and body. And remarkably, many of these modern discoveries echo principles written in ancient scripture thousands of years ago. Scientists are now taking a closer look at how daily reflection may improve focus, emotional awareness, and decision-making.
Ancient biblical teachings often encouraged people to pause, reflect deeply, and examine their thoughts regularly. Researchers studying mindfulness have found that intentional focus may help calm emotional reactivity inside the brain. That connection between focused thinking and emotional peace appears throughout many ancient biblical passages.
Modern wellness experts also emphasize slowing down and reducing constant mental overstimulation.
Ancient wisdom often encouraged silence, stillness, and moments of solitude for emotional restoration. Neuroscientists now understand that calm environments may positively influence stress recovery and mental clarity. Even simple practices like gratitude, reflection, and healthy relationships may help support emotional resilience over time.
The deeper science explores the brain, the more researchers continue uncovering the power of emotional habit.
And many of those discoveries continue pointing back to principles ancient cultures understood long before modern technology existed. Researchers are now exploring how purpose and meaning may influence emotional health and long-term well-being.
Ancient biblical teachings often emphasized living with wisdom, purpose, and service toward others.
Neuroscientists studying emotional resilience now recognize the importance of hope and positive long-term outlook. Ancient wisdom frequently encouraged courage during uncertainty and peace during difficult seasons of life. Scientists now believe emotional habits formed over years may significantly shape overall wellness and healthy aging. The Bible repeatedly connected wisdom, self-control, and emotional balance to living a healthier and more stable life. Modern brain research increasingly supports the idea that emotional health and physical health are deeply connected. That may be why ancient teachings consistently encouraged peace, gratitude, healthy relationships, and inner stability. As neuroscience continues advancing, researchers are uncovering surprising connections between ancient wisdom and modern mental wellness. And these discoveries may completely reshape how we think about the relationship between the mind, emotions, and ancient wisdom. After exploring both ancient scripture and modern neuroscience, one thing becomes clear: the human mind is incredibly powerful.
Modern research continues revealing how thoughts, emotions, and daily habits may shape long-term emotional wellness.
And remarkably, many of those same principles appeared in biblical teachings thousands of years before modern brain scans existed. The Bible consistently encouraged peace, gratitude, wisdom, emotional balance, and healthy relationship. Today, neuroscientists are discovering how many of those practices may support emotional resilience and mental wellness. While ancient writers didn't use scientific language, their observations about human behavior were often surprisingly insightful.
The growing conversation between neuroscience and ancient wisdom may help people better understand emotional and mental well-being.
Perhaps the greatest lesson is that small daily choices can gradually shape both the mind and the quality of our lives. As science continues advancing, ancient wisdom still reminds us to protect our thoughts, emotions, and inner. Thank you for joining me on this journey through neuroscience, ancient wisdom, and the incredible design of the human brain.